guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name's Crystal and today we're going to do a makeup I regret purchasing video. So I have gone through my complete collection and grabbed out a few things, actually quite a lot of things that I regret purchasing over the years. Some of these items are expired but I hold on to them for sentimental reasons, and others I just don't use, and I completely bought into the hype and literally threw my money down the drain. Like, it's actually embarrassing. I'm so focused now on where my money goes, what I spend it on, and whether I'm actually bringing joy into my life or whether I'm just inadvertently just creating more stress by buying products I don't actually need and I'm not going to love. So that's what this video is more or less focused on: products that I have purchased that I don't love, that I don't use, and that are literally just sitting in my collection. So if you are a makeup junkie like me and you find that you may have overspent just a little bit in the past and you have some products that you really wish that you didn't buy, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up just so that I know that we are a group together and I'm not alone. Whilst you're there, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and make sure you have the post notification bell turned on, and go and check me out over on Instagram as well. I'll have my handles on the screen for you guys to check me out over there. And without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. I feel like whenever I have my ponytail in, I always have to address it because I'm like, look at my hair, I don't know what I'm doing, because this is like a clip-in and it's just really confusing and I don't really know what I'm doing with it. It's kind of just there. So let's just dive straight into it. So the first product that I regret buying is from Huda Beauty. It is the Tantor bronzers. So this is a cream product. I literally love the marketing on this. It was like sent out in a PR packaging that was literally like a barbell, and I'm like full on into my fitness and stuff like that, so I totally bought into that. This one is in the shade Fair, and as you guys can see, it's never been used. It hasn't even been swatched, and I think it hasn't been used because I'm just not a cream product person and I totally got put off by it, but I literally bought it just because everyone was talking about it. I'm pretty sure it's Babs Beauty who talked about liking this, and I really trust her as an influencer. Like, she's so raw in what she says and whether she likes something or not, and I'm pretty sure she said that she liked these. I think it was quite a while ago when these were released. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh no, it's still in date since I bought it, but literally I've never used it. So for the past year that it's been sitting in my collection, it's literally just been collecting dust. So super regret. Again, I've got two foundations. Well, both of them, yeah, I guess had quite a bit of hype around them, but one of them is the Anastasia Luminous Foundation and the other is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. So these two right here put a little bit of a dent in my wallet. The Anastasia one is like, I think it's definitely more than $50, and I'm pretty sure the Fenty Beauty one is $50. So the Fenty Beauty one is in my project pan, so I definitely feel like I'm going to get my use out of it. This is actually my second bottle of this product. I just think I got the wrong shade and that's why I don't like it. It doesn't sit particularly nicely on my skin. It mixes with my oils. It looks a bit funny. I do have it on today. It seems to look alright on camera from what I can see, but in real life, I don't really like it very much. So take my word for it. It does oxidize funny and I don't like it. Bought into the hype. Fenty has been massive over the past couple of years, ever since it's come out. So I bought into the hype. That's why I haven't got any of the Fenty skincare, because I just don't want to fall into the hype again, because it just doesn't work for me. So I'm not going to do that. And then again with the Anastasia Luminous Foundation, I think again this is in the wrong shade for me. It oxidizes funny. It looks like it would be a really good match for me right now, but I know that it oxidizes funny. I know that it doesn't work for my skin type, and this packaging just looks cheap. I don't like it. I really don't like it. So it does have a pump, and it is full coverage and all that sort of stuff. So it is like my kind of categories, but I bought into the hype. Like, so many foundations came out all at once. Like the Urban Decay one came out, this one came out, like the Dior Backstage foundation came out. Like literally so many different variations of foundation came out all at the same time, and I totally jumped on that train when I really shouldn't have, because I know what works for me, and I end up with this one and a little bit of a hole in my wallet. So yeah, that's another one I regret. Keeping with the face, I got the Marc Jacobs primer. This is like the coconut, nope, this is the Invisible Undercover Perfecting Coconut Face Primer. wow, that's a mouthful. So again, this is in my project pan because I'm desperate to get this out of my collection. I totally bought into the hype. So this came out, and also the Remarkable foundation came out. Jaclyn Hill talked about both of them. I'm pretty sure she didn't say she loved the foundation, but she said that she was ride or die for this primer. Again, she is a dry person. I'm not dry, I'm oily combo. I loved Jaclyn Hill at the time, I still do, but I really need to understand what works for me and what doesn't, and I just think that I wanted it because everyone who was cool at the time was using this primer, so I wanted to be cool, so I bought the primer. Not any more cool today than I was back then, so that was a regret purchase as well. And then I also have another one. Now I remember Tarte talking about this as being one of the best highlighters ever, and she's right, it is probably one of the best highlighters in terms of highlighting. It's just that I feel like it might be too much of a highlighter, if that's possible. So this is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. This is in the shade Moonlight. Now this is beautiful. Cover FX as a brand are just incredible. So it's a dropper applicator, and look, one drop just like that. It's just, I didn't think that was ever possible, but this highlighter just might highlight a bit too much. Like, look at that, that's one drop and one swipe. Yeah, honestly beautiful on the body. It's just that I'm not quite sure if I've got the wrong shade, but it is like a stripe, and it's very hard to work with on the tops of your cheekbones because it can make the foundation underneath move, and it dries very, very, very quickly. So if you don't move quickly with it, it's just going to be a strip. So right now on my hand, that's going to remain as like a strip of highlight until I physically go in with a makeup remover or like a cotton pad with micellar water on it and remove it specifically. So it's just a bit harder to work with. I honestly wish that this highlighting power came in a powder form. I just don't think it would ever be possible. Even if it could be like, I suppose it's an idea, but you know how there's like the cake eyeliners? I wish there was such thing as like a cake highlighter, which would give you this payoff, but from a pan, so it's less messy, you've got a bit more time to work with it, all that sort of stuff. But I do regret purchasing this because I bought this years and years ago. It's definitely expired, but I bought into the hype. Everyone was talking about it as being incredible. Nobody talks about this now. And I remember paying a pretty penny for this as well. I probably could have gone without. I do like owning it, but I probably could have gone without it, to be honest. Next up are two products from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It is these ones right here. They had their moment last year, believe me. Everyone was obsessed with these. I don't know if it was the way that it was sent out in PR or what, but these are the loose highlighters. This one is in So Hollywood and this one is in Snowflake. These are so chunky and glittery. Love the packaging on these though. Like literally, look at that. So beautiful, and like they are so beautiful out of my vanity. I mean, there isn't anything else that probably looks this pretty on my vanity, and like the big Anastasia logo, like you definitely know that this is a high-end product from Anastasia. But I'm gonna try and show you. I don't know if it's gonna be possible to show you on camera, but literally, I don't know if you can see in there, but it is literally chunks of glitter. Like that all up in here is literally chunks, and like even if I just tap my finger in there, I don't know if you can see, that is literally just chunks of glitter. And then when you put it on your hand, you literally have to kind of rub it in to make it smooth and seamless. Like I'm having to go back and forth. Beautiful. It's just going that way. It's absolutely stunning. Like the shade is beautiful, but it's so chunky and it is so glittery. You could never put that on your face. Like you could use this as maybe like an eyeshadow, but I definitely regret purchasing these because I can't use them as a highlighter, and I've discovered that I really do not like loose highlighters. Put them in a pressed form for me because I just can't handle it. And I know that they used to have pressed highlighters, the old versions of them, and they were really popular and they were really nice. But then they came out with like these loose versions, and I just, yeah, I'm not feeling them. I don't like them. Again, the color looks stunning as a highlighter. but I could definitely live without them. Like, they were just such a hype thing. Like, I just completely fell into the hype with that, and I didn't think it through, and yeah, I regret it. Next up is probably a bit of a controversial one. I have spoken about this on my channel before as a product not to waste your money on, and I still to this day regret purchasing it. It's the P. Louise base in Rumor 2. This creases on me like next level. I would rather use my MAC Pro Longwear concealer, my Tarte Shape Tape, or my Fenty Pro Filter concealer. Like, literally, I would rather use any of those concealers versus this, or even the MAC Pro Longwear paint pot in Soft Ochre or Painterly. This literally, I don't know what it is. Like, it's not a concealer, it's not an eye base. It's got this really weird texture to it, and for somebody with hooded eyes, like if you don't have hooded eyes, this is fantastic. I use this on my clients and it looks great on them, but for me, for hooded eyes, it doesn't do what I need it to do. So I have a super prominent vein that runs through this eye, and it's quite difficult to cover, and I've had professional makeup artists try to use this product to cover up that vein. They can't do it. They literally use this and they have to put a concealer over the top, and then they'll use this again and they'll set it all down when this is not supposed to be set down. Like, it's just so interesting to see a product that so many people rave about not working, and then when you get a professional who's been doing it for years and years and years, and yes, I'm a professional makeup artist as well. That is something that I do, and I am fully qualified. Talked about it many times on this channel. I haven't been doing it for years and years. I've only been a professional makeup artist for about 6 months now. Like, it's interesting to see somebody who's been doing it for 6 or 7 years struggle just the same as I would doing it on myself. So I definitely regret purchasing this. I could put the money towards something better. If you love it, that's cool, but it just doesn't work for me. So yeah, regret that one. The next item I regret is a Kylie Cosmetics product. And again, it's one of those ones that I've just never used. I don't know if it's fantastic. Apparently it's one of her best sellers. It is the Kylie Jenner setting spray. Look at this packaging. Isn't that just the cutest thing you've ever seen? It's this beautiful pink. I'm a sucker for pink. I love it. And I just basically bought it because I thought it was cute. That's it. It's a basic spray bottle. Like, literally, you could probably buy this spray bottle from like Priceline and then just put a product in it and stamp your name on the front, and it looks just like a Kylie Jenner one. It doesn't look basically anything special. Never used it. It smells like rose, sort of. Not really. Like, it smells nice, but it's just, I don't know. I would prefer to use my Glow Recipe, my MAC Fix Plus with Rose, or my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, or my Urban Decay D-Slick. Like, literally, I just listed off 4 different things that you could get versus this, and I don't think this was particularly cheap either. So again, regret purchasing that one. Knowing my luck, I'll probably use it next month and it will be in my favorites, but at this point in time, I regret purchasing it. So again, another item that I barely ever use since I purchased it. I literally just love the packaging on it though. It's the NARS Liquid Laguna. Now, if you guys are subscribed to my channel and you watch my content, you know that I love NARS Laguna. I've gone through like 5 containers or pots or pans or whatever they are. I've gone through like 5 of them. It was the first ever high-end product aside from Soft and Gentle from MAC that I ever bought from Mecca. I'm pretty sure that is the first item that I ever bought from Mecca in 2013 when I first discovered makeup and started this like spiral down the rabbit hole. And then I saw they had the Liquid Laguna form. I don't like creams. I don't know why I keep getting drawn to creams. I love cream eyeshadows. I love any sort of liquids for the eyeshadows. I just don't love it for the face. I'm a powder girl on the face. I just don't think I'm a cream girl at all. Now, this is stunning. It has a pump. It's literally Laguna just in a liquid form. So I just kind of need to figure out how to use it. I think I originally purchased it because I wanted to mix it with my foundation, but this is too watery to mix with your foundation. Like, so you have to mix up quite a lot just to get the pigments and stuff moving in it. But even when you pump it out, it is still quite liquidy. I'm not quite sure. Can you hear that? So that is the Liquid Laguna. It's just very, very, very watery. It is water based, but the packaging on this is just like, it's so stunning. I love NARS packaging. It's so chic, it's so beautiful, but I've never really used it. So again, cream products don't really have a place in my heart, so I just don't really draw to them. So yeah, that's why I regret purchasing that one. So now we're going to go into some eyeshadow palettes. I can see I've been talking for ages, so I'm gonna wrap this video up for you guys because I don't want my videos to be any longer than like max 20 minutes. So we're gonna smash through these ones. The first one I regret purchasing is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. I bought this back when Kat Von D was in and attached to the brand. I've had this forever. I keep it for sentimental reasons. It's definitely expired, like 100% expired. Yeah, 12 months. This is 100% expired, but I keep it for sentimental reasons because I do feel like at once upon a time, Kat Von D was the pinnacle of makeup. Kat Von D and Becca were kind of running side by side at that point in time. That's when Champagne Pop came out. That's when like Opal was really having a strong presence in the market. And it's when basically Kat Von D was like the brand to have. Like I remember I was like obsessed with it. I find a brand that I become drawn to. I'm drawn to the aesthetic, I'm drawn to the products, I'm drawn to its ability on my skin, especially if it's something that works for me. I can't get enough, and Kat Von D was one of those brands. I couldn't get enough of Kat Von D, and I had this palette, I had the Shade and Light contour palette, I had her liner, I had her foundation, her primer, I had like everything by her, and then all the shebang happened, and yeah, I basically panned everything and got rid of it because I just didn't want to have that associated with me. But I just couldn't quite find myself getting rid of this palette. It's super pigmented. It has a lot of basics in there. I do think for somebody starting out in makeup, this is a really good place to start. It's just like, yeah, it was never really a palette that I became obsessed with. I got that at the same time as like my chocolate bar palette, and I was just always more drawn to my chocolate bar versus that one. So yeah, unfortunately just never really got used, so I do regret it. Next up is the Tarte Pro palette. There was so much hype around this palette, it's insane. Like they literally sent a whole bunch of influencers to like, I can't remember where it was it the Bahamas? No, I can't remember. It's just like not even crossing my mind now. It was one of those like islands that has little huts that's like attached to it. They are basically destroying the environment. It's one of those places. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, they literally sent a whole bunch of people there. They released this palette, they released a contour palette, they released a whole collection, and I regret buying it because I bought into that hype. Like massive mirror, beautiful packaging, so much going on here, and really nice colors. It is a pro palette, so you should be able to achieve a lot of looks with this, and it is stunning. It's just, I bought it and I went to America, and I bought it in America before it was released in Australia. I felt so cool for having this palette, and I think I've used it maybe 5 times max. I just never use it. I bought into the hype. I spent the $80 or whatever it was on this palette, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it's discounted or discontinued, or I don't even know. You just don't see it anymore. So the last product that I want to talk to you guys today about is probably a little bit controversial because I love this brand. Like honestly, Huda Beauty is like one of my favorite brands, and I have already spoken about a Huda Beauty product today. It's just that I haven't used that product, and that's why I regret purchasing it. This product I have used, but I don't feel like I've used it enough for the amount of money that I paid for it. So I'm pretty sure this was over $100 for this palette, but it is the Mercury Retrograde palette. Now this palette literally spoke to me. When it was released, I saw it, and it was kind of like the same as that like peach palette from Too Faced. When I saw that palette online, talked about for the first time, I literally stood at the front of Mecca waiting for it to be released. Like I was that girl. I was one of the first people in Melbourne to get it, and like literally felt like the best person in the world. Like I felt so cool. I saw this palette and the same thing happened. Like I was obsessed with this palette. I think the color story on this is stunning. I absolutely love the way that it is presented. The types of shadows that are in here are very innovative. Again, like I said, the color story is just beautiful. I love this blue. I think that's stunning. I love the violet colors. I just think that it's a really well-rounded palette, and there was nothing like this on the market at the time. And I just was sucked into the quality of the packaging. I love the packaging. I think it's beautiful. But I paid $109 for that, I'm pretty sure. And I think I've used it twice. Now that's not saying that it's a bad palette. I just don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth out of it. And I don't think that's the palette's problem. I think that's my problem, because I mean, we're in a pandemic. I'm not really wearing makeup. I'm not doing creative makeup looks on my channel right now. At the moment, I'm finding that my tutorial videos aren't being as received as well as like these kinds of videos that I'm filming for you guys. So I just haven't been filming tutorials. Like, you guys don't really want to watch them, so I'm not going to film them. So I'm not doing crazy looks anymore. I'm not really experimenting with colors and stuff like that. So it just doesn't really get the use. Although I do still consider it to be quite a neutral palette. It does have quite a few pops of color in there. This is a beautiful everyday palette and like a neutral palette as well. But yeah, I just don't get my money's worth out of it. I don't think at this point. I would never get rid of it. I'd never get rid of any of these products. I just regret spending my money on it, and I could have spent my money on other things like, I don't know, gym gear, which I'd use every single day regardless of a pandemic or not. So I don't know, just plenty of other things that I'm sure I could have spent the money on. That is pretty much everything from me. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you made it this far, definitely comment below a heart emoji of any color, just so that I know that you made it to the end. And it would be awesome if somebody did comment that, which would literally make my day. But my video is like 100 years long, so I'm not quite sure if anyone's actually gonna watch this to the end. But nonetheless, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and do not forget to subscribe before you leave, and also go and check me out on my Instagram handles. I'll have them on the screen again for you guys to check me out over there. And I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks guys. Bye.